Old photographs, scraps of paper, pages from a book, a part of an old footstool. Those might seem like so much junk to you, but they're all potential elements of a wonderful art piece by Judy Vogland. Take a look. You want to give yourself lots of time to look at a piece by Judy Vogland because there's so much to see. Layer upon layer of everything from photographs to scrap metal make up her collage paintings, all different but designed to do the same thing.
I'm working right now with creating stories, because I'm kind of a storyteller, that come together out of all the things that I collect.
Some of her paintings are quite personal.
This piece is called Protection. I'm making this for my daughter, Taylor, who's 26 years old and still complaining that I'm an overly protective parent. So I kind of have a humorous approach to my work. I want to state the obvious. So I gathered up images of her grandmother as a young woman in these two areas, Jane Vogland, her grandfather, John Vogland, this is my dad, and his mother, Elise Vogland, and put another one of Henry Oscar, who's the patriarch of the family. These two came from Norway and started this whole generation of Voglands in the United States. And I wanted to give her the feeling that she was really surrounded by a lot of history.
Most of her work is designed to appeal to anyone.
A lot of these pieces relate to you as a consumer because you have grandparents or older historic situations where you've seen these kinds of images and you can just relate to the image in hand.
An avid collector of interesting images and other things, Judy has piles and drawers full of materials from which to draw inspiration. We spent a couple of hours watching her move from one piece to another, sorting, cutting, and gluing.
My work is all about composition, concept, and materials. The materials kind of come first. I found this in a dump, so to speak. And so how could you let that go? I had to bring it home. It's got wonderful colors. It's got the color of tea, the color of dirt, the color of cardboard. And so that is giving me an idea to build a surface. This piece is close to being done, but I felt like Little Miss Red Riding Hood here needed a little bit of conflict in her life. So I brought in a very contemporary figure to play off that idea. So I made a bad guy sheriff. The thing that I've learned over the years is that the work will tell you what it needs. And I have created then a stack of cool stuff. I'm very fond of old yearbooks. Jefferson High School has the greatest. I've gotten very good at trimming. That's my one good skill. So right now some photographer has determined what this image is and how it sits in its own composition. I'm going to put it in an entirely new one.
Planning ahead isn't part of the process.
Now here's me. You know, I didn't think about using her until about 2 minutes before I picked her up. And now she's going to control this whole right side. So I give her some presents. What I don't do is lay the whole thing out and then go back and glue it all. Because I find that that's a real trap. You get lost and you miss the piece that you sort of created in the first place. And you never feel like you get the next piece right. So I just let the piece grow. So we'll just see what happens when she dries. That's another wonderful thing about collage. Just getting up in the morning and coming upstairs and seeing what's on the table as it has dried the night before is a thrill.
Judy has always created art, but it was only after she retired from teaching art full-time that collage really took over.
Found a box of old family photos in the basement, and I thought, why are these in a box? They should be part of my life. And the way to make them part of my life was to get them out and to make them into stories about my life.
Now she scours antique stores and estate sales for potential material.
Old estate sales are great for, family photos. I don't know who this family is, but I have dozens and dozens of their children's, grandparents, family snaps that have really been a basis for a lot of my pieces. Absolutely beautiful things that people just throw away.
Judy, to say you're a collector doesn't even begin to describe it.
Well, that's right. I'm sort of a scavenger. I've sort of, can find things along the way in an old car dump. I can find it at an old secondhand store. I can go to my basement.
Oh yes, the basement.
This is huge.
That's where Judy keeps the larger pieces she's pulled out of dumpsters for her more architectural pieces.
I get very excited about a simple piece of discard like this because it had a functional purpose, but I let it get a new personality in how I use it in my pieces. Somehow, someday, this is going to become the start of a painting, the top of a painting, the side of a painting, could be the foot. I like to give value to things that are old, and a lot of people look at old things and think that's discardable, that there's something newer, cleaner, brighter, fresher.
But Judy takes the old and after working her magic, makes it new, which then makes you look at it with fresh eyes.
It's a story starter, I think is an important thing. It's like opening up a novel, and on that first page or two you learn about the characters, the situation, who killed who was the victim, all that sort of stuff is going on when you're reading. I'm doing that visually.
And the possible stories are as endless as her seemingly endless supply of materials.
I mean, doesn't that just speak to you? This is just a great thing.
Absolutely. One man's junk is Judy Vogland's treasure.
Absolutely.